Welcome inside Okinawa Arena. This is the nightcap of the evening. Australia taking on Japan. The finale in Group E play. And this one's simple. You win and you're in. You'll move on to the second round. I'm Despina Barton. Welcome Andrew Gaze, the FIBA Hall of Famer and the Australian national team member. 5 Olympics with the Australian national team. For you, we saw this team fumble 2 evenings ago and drop their contest there against Germany. What type of team do we see here tonight against Japan?
Well, it's going to be interesting how they bounce back from that, because that was a high-quality game and a loss to one of the favorites of the entire competition. And it's called the group of death for a reason, and that's because you've got high-quality teams in this group. So it's nothing to be ashamed of to lose to Germany, but it's how you bounce back, how you hold your nerve, and up against a team that's riding the wave of emotion in Japan with a historic win over Finland. First time in their history they've ever beaten a team from Europe in World Cup play. And on the back of a very raucous fan base, it's going to be a tough environment for Australia, but they do have far greater skill and depth than Japan, but it's how you bring it all together. And for the Japanese team, they just had one out of the box the other night, Despina. It was our privilege to be in this building when trailing it by 18 to Finland. They came back and shocked the world and pulled off one of the most remarkable wins in Japanese basketball history. Can they do it again? They're up against a much tougher opponent, but they are riding this emotion and anything can happen.
And the fans have certainly come here for an encore. They believe here in Japan that their team can keep winning and stay alive in FIBA World Cup action. And against Finland, it was an impressive 61-point performance from the bench. Yeah. Everybody having a hand for Japan.
Well, that's right, and their guard play was spectacular. UK Kawamura, he came out and had 29 points and 9 assists. Outstanding performance. And then off the bench, Keisei Tominaga, 17 points, 4 of 7 from the three-point line. There he is on your screen, number 30. He was spectacular. But Josh Hawkinson, the naturalized Japanese player in one of the great World Cup performances, 19 boards, just an extraordinary display.
28 points.
28 points, 19 boards. It was spectacular, and he's going to have another big game if they're going to have a chance. And, you know, they're doing all this without Yuta Watanabe, their NBA star, really not contributing much in that spectacular win.
He was more of a defensive decoy in that contest. As you see on your screen, it was Germany who handily defeated Finland, and of course the only team that's unbeaten here.
Definitely shock the world if they can pull off a magnificent home court win.
We're going to start with national anthems first for Australia. Australia technically the home team in today's contest, but Japan the host nation, and so we will follow up with their national anthem. It's a sea of red and white. Okinawa Arena draped with Japanese fans as they believe their team has a chance to play spoiler here against the favorite Australia. But one thing's riding on Australia's side as far as statistics go. They've never lost consecutive games in a preliminary round, at least dating back to 2006. A look here at the officiating crew this evening. Puerto Rico, USA, and Canada, the America squad here represented. Jorge Vasquez is going to be your lead official. So any type of additional looks and conversations and deliberation, we'll hear Jorge because he's all mic'd up for tonight's game, Andrew.
It is, and there's been some tough games to officiate, a lot of physical play we've seen, and I think tonight that's really going to be the key for Australia. They're going to come out and try and bully this Japanese team, but they've got some talent on the floor. It's not as deep as Australia, but when you think of Uday Baba, a player who's playing in the G League, and he's got some experience, and we take a look at the starters, and there is one change.
Yeah, welcome to the starting lineup, Yuki Kawamura, the 22-year-old, the youngest guy on this roster. He will get his first start of the tournament alongside, of course, Hijima, Watanabe, Baba, Hawkinson.
Well, Kawamura was just unbelievable in that game. 25 points, 9 assists, and 4 of 7 from the field. He just took over and was all over the place. It hit some huge threes down the stretch to give them a buffer against Finland. And Josh Hawkinson, this is spectacular numbers. He leads the tournament in rebounding. He is a rebound waiting to happen with 28 points and 19 rebounds. He had a 4-year career at the University of Washington State where he averaged a double-double. He is the all-time career leader in rebounds. And there is Tommy Horvath, the head coach, who's tasted Olympic success, but not with the men's team, with the women's team.
Yeah, he led the women's team to the Tokyo Olympics in a silver medal placement, and then he got the call up to the men's team. And last night when he was asked about the victory, he simply said, we're not just here to be here, we're here to win. And so he is setting the bar high for his Japanese squad.
My word, he is, and he's put them into a situation which they have never been before, and an opportunity to get through to the next round.
Australia here too going to shake up their starting five. Of course, Giddy and Mills, Kay and Reith, but welcome to the starting lineup, Josh Green, another 22-year-old on the flip side.
Yeah, and he comes in for Matisse Thybulle, who Australia, they've been struggling with their starts in the 2 games they've had against Germany and Finland. It's been the start that's really caused them some problems, and they've relied heavily on this man, Paddy Mills. He had 21 in the loss to Germany. 17 of those, though, came in the first half. And down the stretch, there was a real costly turnover that he had. And when they trailed by 1, Josh Giddy is another one, just a youngster, 20 years of age. He plays for the OKC Thunder, and he had 17 points on 7 of 15. He got off to a slow start, and if you remember the first time out, and Brian Goorjian called him out and he responded immediately, but Giddy's yet to hit a 3-ball in the competition, and the legend of Australian basketball, that is Brian Goorjian, the man who will go down in history as the coach of the first coach to guide Australia to an Olympic medal. He's going to have his work cut out in this one, dealing with trying to contain the emotions, because this crowd and the raucous nature of it can force teams into some unusual decision making, and if Australia, they need to stay composed and not get caught up in that. And they're an experienced outfit. 9 of the players on this Australian team was part of that bronze medal winning team that from Tokyo, so they do have a lot of experience in 2 4-time Olympians in Joe Ingles and Paddy Mills.
For Japan, it was Coach Horvath that shared, they can't allow Australia to push them around. They have to be the ones to settle in, set the pace, and he's going to ask his team to battle on the boards, and they've got to shoot better. They didn't just come here to participate again, so we have to see what is up the sleeve for Japan. They come in being ranked 36th in the world, and of course Australia number 3 in the world right now, both fighting to stay alive and in contention for a FIBA World Cup title.
Well, that's right, and you know that Japan have had their struggles from the field at time to time. In total, their first 2 games, they're shooting at 43%, but the big difference in that win against Finland was the 3-ball. Once in that second half, when they were able to start knocking down the 3-ball, that's when the game changed.
5 and 3 are opposite, all right? So if I trap it, I've got middle, I've got this, I've got kick ahead. If I go here and they try to maybe here, or I attack again, all right? First play, pinch, Patty, you got it. One's gonna get Giddy, Giddy will get open. Patty, set yourself up for a good cut. Whoa, get greedy, lift up a little bit.
So Australia setting their intentions early. They want to attack.
Well, they do, and they also need to figure out what they're going to do on the defense. And as we mentioned previously, Germany had their guards had their way with Australia, and that's unusual. And it was in that on-ball situation. It seemed like Australia was just trying different things and figuring out what their best strategy is going to be. And that's what can happen when you have a limited preparation period. You're trying to learn on the fly. Most of the time, you're going to go in with a specific strategy and just stick with it and get better at it. But we'll see what type of start Australia can get after having some difficulties in the first 5 minutes of the previous 2 games. Patty Mills went on that explosion when they got 10 down against Germany. It was Patty Mills that single-handedly went on a 13-0 run. He had 13 points in a row. 13 points with no other Australian scoring. It was a special few moments for Patty.
So Duop Reith getting set to jump against Josh Hawkinson. And we're underway here inside Okinawa Arena. Australia ball first. Giddy holding on. Mills is going to work off the screen, tries to create, fadeaway jumper, misses. Kawamura with the rebound.
Pretty much in the first 2 games, and again tonight, first play, always run for Patty Mills. Try and get him going.
So Kawamura to Hyojima, also getting his first feed to Hawkinson, knocked away. Reith is there. Giddy, floater, sweet.
Well, he's up against Uday Bubba is guarding Josh Giddy. Now, they have history. When Josh Giddy was playing back in Melbourne, Australia, and Uday Bubba was there, they used to work out against each other.
Rebound here by Baba. This place was ready to explode with Watanabe's 3 after he shook off Josh Green. Kawamura driving past Giddy, the block. 2 now for Reith.
It's twice, 2 possessions, 2 rejections from Reith.
Giddy, another floater. This one off, tip to his buddy Green. Inside to Reith, hook with the left. That one is smooth.
It is. Josh Hawkinson got caught behind Reith, and Reith's had a good start at the defensive end, and now gets it going on the offense.
Hyojima keeps it high. This one goes over Reith. Lesson learned, 3rd attack in. Giddy driving right, kicks it. Josh Green open on the baseline, and 1. This young man has a chance to make a 4-point play.
This is a huge start for Josh Green. It's a part of his game that's improved so much over the last couple of seasons in the NBA. And Watanabe, I think he's got right to complain. I think Josh Green sold that magnificently. Certainly wasn't enough to disrupt the shot, and potential 4-point play coming for Josh Green.
And he does, he completes it.
Wow, look at the defense of Green, the size advantage.
Kawamura trying to shape Green. 7 to shoot. Feed inside to Hawkinson. Success. Mills under the basket. And a foul handed over across Green before the pass to Reed.
It is, and again, Australia in the hard show. On that, you see, that was the earlier play with Duop Reed. That was the first block, and there's the second one from Reed, protecting the rim.
Giddy. The roll, the shooter's roll goes down.
Too big. He goes in there. It's a guy that 205 centimeters.
And Giddy having to find a way to stop Hawkinson there. The early foul, and Hawkinson will head to the free throw line.
There it is, and again, they're working the on-ball screen. And it's the roller twice now. And it's Hawkinson being the roller. He's the preferred one that most of the time when they're running those on-balls, they want him in them for the reasons you've seen the last 2 possessions. Made the little one down the middle, and that time on the sideline on-ball, Giddy forced to come from the weak side and draws the foul. Josh Giddy playing a little game there, just walking across, causing Josh Hawkinson to think about it.
It doesn't work that time. Hawkinson drills both of them. Mills to Giddy. K flashes. Mid-range good.
Well, it's been a super efficient start from Australia. 5 of 7 from the field. And the concerning thing for Japan is the easy ones.
Hyojima driving, going at Reese, spinning, takeaway. Turnover. Mills with the rock. Gets it back from Giddy. 3 is off. Reith in there, the garbage man for 2. Australia out to an 8-point lead.
And their size on the offensive end, it's really sticking out, either on the drive to the basket or on the glass, dominating the boards.
Kawamura will call his own number. That one is way off its mark. And Giddy gliding with the ball here. Green, wing shot. Won't go. On the ground there is Hyojima. Hawkinson, inside outside game, he is in effect.
And he has that, he doesn't go to it all that regularly, but every now and again, he can shoot it well enough to keep the defense honest.
The trap and the pressure. Mills to Reith. Giddy, extra pass. Green left alone.
Well, they didn't get anything out of it, but I like it. I like when Paddy's coming off those screens. If you're Japan, try and take Paddy out of the game. He's their leading scorer.
Watanabe with the assist off the glass. And 1 for the hometown favorite.
Watanabe, he only had the 1 made field goal in that win against Finland. He sees that one go in. It's huge at size advantage. Good recognition by Japan. See the excitement and the emotion being generated. Wholesale changes now for Australia. Reed, Josh Giddy, and Paddy Mills going out. And Dante Exum, the veteran Joe Ingles, and Xavier Cooks, who was outstanding in that last quarter against Germany.
So Exum now is going to get this offense going. Ingles the thread, Cooks, nobody stepping in front of him.
And I like it. Joe Ingles is a underrated playmaker. He works an on-ball screen better than most, and you can see the passing ability he has in those situations.
Tominaga behind the screen from Hawkinson. He had the red-hot hand 2 nights ago against Finland. Ingles driving left. Little Euro. Exum gets it back. Ingles driving right. High-low action. Cooks trying up again. Hawkinson denies it. Oh, and a moving screen.
Had to be. Hawkinson complaining that he got pushed into it. I saw the tail end of it. And hopefully we get another look at it again. He picks up the foul. Yeah, Joe Ingles it is. Joe Ingles with a sneaky little push to Hawkinson. And wasn't able to stop it, so the veteran Ingles gets away with one.
So boomer ball. Ingles working on the top of the key. Lefty draws the trigger. Exum with the board. How about a second chance here for Australia? And an offensive foul. Kerma came back to get him.
Just dropped the shoulder. And I reckon there might have been just a hint of a make-up call for what took place down the other end the play before. Now, we all know the officials don't do that, Despina, but there might be just some form of justice out there.
What did they say? Ball don't lie? There we go. Togashi, the captain of this Japanese squad. Huge size differential here. He's just 5'6", and he hit it over Ingles. 3-point game. Giddy backing down off the fingertips of Cooks. We're running here with Tominaga. Togashi now driving. The kick, no one's there.
Too much. He hit the 3-ball before. This time the ball really stuck in his hands. Tried to make something out of nothing. This is that 3. He's got a big guy on him. Joe Ingles, it's a quick release.
Backdoor cut, Exum to Ingles, spotted up. Tominaga, one speed, beating Ingles, and the block on the board. Your boy Cooks. Cooks gets it back. No one stepping up.
Xavier Cooks, he's in a rich vein of form. Carrying on from that really good last quarter. He does a lot of the intangibles. It's the block shot, it's in the lanes, it's the hard shows. Stuff that doesn't always show up on the stats.
All right, first shot for Tominaga. Misses short. And Giddy's gonna step out of bounds.
Giddy's saying that he let the ball go before he got out of bounds. This is the block shot. Cooks, that's the thing. D-Trans throws it out with a level of authority. And then follows it up, coast to coast, stuffs it in with 2 hands.
And here we are, Japan, fresh shot clock. Tominaga will shoot it in front of Giddy's eye.
He's got the mismatch. He wants it. He's got Tominaga on him.
Cooks gives it to Giddy. He turns and shoots right over Tominaga. And the whistle here.
And I think Australia could do worse than having a heavy diet of that. When you look at some of the size advantage they've got, Tominaga, he can shoot it, but can't match it with size with someone like Dante Exum and Togashi. We just saw that size with Giddy. So posting up the little fellas from Japan is not a bad strategy. But of course, you got to make free throws.
1 for 2 for Giddy.
Free throws has been a problem. Been very inefficient from the free throw line so far in the 2 games, Australia.
So Togashi here surveying. Tominaga deep into that corner. Angles tips it. And we're moving with Exum. Trailer. Angles decides to dribble, give it up. Matisse Thybulle. Rotation comes. And Exum to Ingles. 6 to shoot. Exum goes baseline, extra feed, touch to Cooks. No, won't go in. And Cooks can't handle it. It's like the hungry, hungry hippo. Cooks, they just keep going to. Right in front of that rim. Togashi pull up 3, short. Thybulle. And Giddy waits for the rest of the crew to catch up. Ingles to Giddy. Beautiful spin and finish on the left.
Yeah, the slot cut from Giddy and the good find by Joe Ingles. They worked that beautifully, Australia.
Under a minute to play in the first. Australia back with an 8-point advantage. Watanabe driving, spinning, left attempt, no good. Cooks to Thybulle, Giddy, little tight in traffic. Exum now having his hand, extra touch, and Cooks is there.
He's in the right place at the right time. He reads the cutters. He keeps his spacing down low in those dunker spots just outside the keyway. When he sees the drive, any help, he gets behind the defenders, easy too.
Togashi to Tominaga, gets Ingles off him, floater with the left, and he hits it. The 22-year-old that plays for Nebraska. Giddy on the other end. Nothing there before the end of the quarter. So after that made basket by Keisei Tominaga, the lead is back down to 8. Australia 25, Japan 17.
Wow, there's a lot of emotion and tension, and Japan did a good job just to hang in there. It started to look like it was going the way of Australia. That last basket was important just to try and snap some of those momentum. You've got to figure out a way to stop the penetration, the shooting percentage, you see it. And Japan need to shoot well, and they need to shoot better than they did in that first quarter. They only shot it at 35%, 6 of 17. Some good looks, but even better looks at the other end for Australia, where they shot it at 58% in total, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. And Josh Giddy got himself underway with 7 points to lead the way. And surprisingly, their leading scorer, Patty Mills, he only played the 5 minutes and was 0 of 2 to start this one off. And Xavier Cooks, what a spark plug he has been coming off the bench for Australia. So athletic and mobile. And with Australia doing a lot of switching, his mobility down the other end, there's that back cut. You saw Yushi just lose vision and get exposed. Tominaga, who had those 17 points against Germany with the floater. Nice. Just beats.
He's going to be a fan favorite back in the States when he plays for the Cornhuskers. Here, though, in the second quarter, if you haven't downloaded the Courtside 1891 app, make sure you have it. Scan the QR code on the screen right now. That's where you can find all the games, schedules, scores. Make sure you're also following FIBA WC on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All the greatness from the tournament on the court and away from the court is what that digital team is capturing for you all at home.
It is, and every little thing Joe Ingles is responding to. He's playing the mind games as well as the physical games with his opponent. You see, switching everything now with Australia with this small lineup. When they take Reith out, they're happy to switch all on-ball screens. That's deep.
Deep for Tominaga. Nearly to the scores table. And Exum, one speed, going right at the rack, and his buddy putting it back inside. Xavier Cooks now with 8 points.
It is, and the thing about Xavier Cooks is he's not one of those players you need to run plays for. He'll go get it, does the dirty work around the rim, and uses his basketball IQ and energy to come up with points.
So Tominaga in front of Mills.
They got to get him going. They need to get him shots, but that's not the way to do it. That's a poor one. Contested three.
On the other end, Ingles had a good look. Comes with shot clock time though, Tominaga. I think he would have preferred a whistle here.
T. Steibel coming from behind to throw that one out. Joe Ingles checks out. They bring in another big, Nick Kay. So it's Kay and Cooks.
Reload, huh?
Yeah, Kay and Cooks now occupying the 4 and 5.
Kawamura back to reset on the top of the key. Driving through, looking for the dish. And no, the officiating crew is saying this is touched by Japan, so Australia, it's a turnover.
Juwan Reith comes back in for Xavier Cooks, and Australian bench getting around Xavier Cooks, really appreciating his work.
It was a point for Coach Gorgon to get Exum a lot more time and touches 2 nights ago, and we're seeing a lot more of him here. Kay fighting for that loose ball. It's a jump, and it will stay here with the Boomers.
There it is, and there's the hustle, the desperation. You see it as it should be when everything's on the line tonight for both these teams. And somehow or other, Japan have to find a way to get Watanabe a little bit more cleaner looks. And now down to 29%, 6 of 21. That's not going to get it done against this Australian team. So their offense is causing them some problems.
A 10-point lead for Australia. 8:10 to go here in the first half. Giddy's back on the floor. Kay just streaking. Watanabe with the ball. He decides to drive at Kay. He'll pull up the long 2. He hits the deck, and he'll get to shoot a pair.
They did, and it wasn't a lot. It was down below, which caused Nick Kay the problem. You got to give someone some landing space, and that's what Nick Kay didn't do. So it was all clean upstairs with the arms, but it was down below in that landing space that caused Nick Kay some problems. Nick Kay, he's real familiar with this environment. He's one of the Australians that actually plays in the Japanese league. So he'd be showing the Aussies all the places to go.
Oh, the great cuisine.
That's right.
As Watanabe does his job on the free throw line.
Some zone defense now by Japan.
No look pass to Nick Kay. Giddy gives it back to him. The three is off. Kay tracks it down. Mills left alone. Can he close out?
Yes. It's a wild shot by Patty Mills.
Hawkinson has the size and the two. Called from it early, the feed up by Kawamura.
That was a great pass.
And then a foul on the floor here before the bucket.
It was a great pass by Kawamura. There you see it, no ball pressure. And even more credit goes to the way in which that they're running the floor. Hawkinson there.
Okay, too easy.
Twice. Underneath out of bounds plays. Resulting in real easy baskets. Can't have that if you're Japan and you're trying to cause an upset. They're the ones that really hurt you.
Yajima through the lane, takeaway. It was Green who got the steal. He'll get the reward on the other end and one.
The alarm bells start to ring now for Japan. Australia capitalising on the turnovers. They need to have a chat about it. I reckon it's time to get Udo Barber back in there as well. They need his defense.
So Josh Green with 8, he'll shoot a free throw when we return, but it's a timeout. Tom Hovas in Japan.
And then once he goes out, you step up. You meet him. You attack him. 32! God damn it! 細かいこと分かってないんだったらダメだよ。簡単なことじゃないですか。いや、言い訳。最初から悪かった。Let's go! Hey, get this. Let's run. You're on me. You're on me. Let's change their percent. Let's change their rhythm. Get in. You're on me.
Another look here at those set plays from the inbound.
Twice. And Australia had the ability to make really tough shots, and certain things you've got to live with, but you can't live with the simple underneath out of bounds plays. They're the ones that the breakdowns you can't afford to have when you're the underdog and trying to cause an upset. And turnovers with this highly athletic Australian team.
The Bananas in pajamas. I heard they're in the house.
They are. I think they're in the top level. It's great to see everyone getting in the spirit. There's probably there's a handful of Aussie fans right behind the Australia bench. And outside of that, it's pretty much a sea of red here, as you'd expect with the locals getting behind their team. Tom Hovas in the last timeout. I can't speak Japanese, but you can read by the body language and
the tone
and the delivery method that he was not happy. And I think it was those underneath out of bounds and some of those defensive breakdowns causing him a bit of grief.
Kawamura trying to thread it back to Hawkinson. Loose ball scooped up here by Green. Giddy gets it, and the duo go to work. Watanabe with the ball. Kawamura will pull up in front of Kay. Fans starting to get into this, calling for defense for Japan. Reith on the block. Out to Giddy. No one steps up. He'll shoot it.
He's yet to nail a three in this tournament. He's a lot better than that, but they're willing to invite Giddy to shoot the three. And they know his strength is, of course, getting to the rim and creating for others. But he can knock down the three ball.
Another takeaway for Green.
No hesitation. Do not need to go to the video review for this one. It was just a grab by Hiyajima. There you see it around the neck. It was an open court. It was high. It was excessive, and it was a non-basketball play. Tick, tick, tick. So 2 in possession. was on Green. It wasn't on Paddy Mills trying to pull a Swifty and get to the free throw line.
The officiating table corrected themselves. So yes, you're looking at Josh Green, the 22-year-old that plays for the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, that's why, right there, Paddy Mills was trying to sneak one in and pull a Swifty and get away with it. And Josh Green nails the second one, but
he's in double digits now scoring. You think Mills has gotten away with that before?
People have, absolutely they have.
Mills, elbow shot, hits it.
That is just a thing of beauty, that shooting technique. Real good coordination between the legs and the arms, and the follow through. It's beautiful. That's why he's one of the all-time leading scorers in Olympic Games history.
Watanabe going right at the rack, one-on-one with Reith, and he earns it. Okay. To Giddey. Giddey looking at Reith here. Reith needs some help. Mills drawing two, gets it back. Enough time to pull the trigger. Watanabe spinning on Giddey. Won't go down. And Josh Green continuing to push things here for the Boomers. Reith pounding, using his presence on the block. Another two, Australia, up by 18.
Josh Green called for a foul in the backcourt. Yeah, and when Josh Giddey's able to get that deep, you see how deep he is. They come in the show, and it's real hard for Hawkinson to get back. And Watanabe on the weak side, he needs to come over and try and be a deterrent for that pass. Yes, you're going to be exposed for the shot in the corner, but rely on the hard closeout rather than the little bunny around the rim for Reith.
Togashi and Baba back on the floor. Watanabe in the corner for three. Exum hits Giddey on the cut.
Twice now we've seen that action. Dribble handoff action or on ball on the weak side, on the strong side, and then the weak side back cut, easy two. Both times it's been Giddey getting behind his defender.
Togashi just covered in yellow jerseys. Hara lets it fly. And we're running up with Giddey. Mills to Cooks. Drops in.
The passing has been off the charts. It's elite for Australia. They've made 20 field goals, so they're 20 of 34. 16 of them have come from assists.
Togashi to Hawkinson. Cooks quickly covers. Hawkinson now with 11. Okay, alone on an island, and there's another three as Australia keeps adding on to their lead.
They're doing it both ways. And they're getting to the rim and scoring around the basket. And also the penetrating dish. It's a rush shot too, Hawkinson.
Giddey, how about this will be his first made three, and it is.
He's up to 14 points. Check this out. Josh Giddey, triple-double watch yet again. 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 14 points. We've still got a couple of minutes to go in the second. Wide open, and that's the one they're going to make him, you see almost a sense of relief from Giddy that he finally knocked one down. But that's just a practice shooting drill when you're that wide open. It's one thing to invite him to shoot it, but it's another thing just to not even have anyone hesitating, stunting, or running at him. It's not that bad.
Hey, we got a ton of time. We can't lose it. You guys just keep playing. Keep playing, keep chipping away. We got to push the pace. All right? And we got to get back. We got to load. Are you okay? Let's run some hammer action. Let's run slot knee or horns. Backside hammer, some hammer action. Let's go. This is all.
Josh Giddey all smiles here. Getting fed, the chemistry between this team being showcased through their passing capabilities. And then some. Unselfish play.
Yeah, the passing's been the feature. As I mentioned, they're 22 of 36. And now, 18 of those 22 made field goals has come from someone assisting. You know, a lot of the times there's an ISO ball and everything's coming off the dribble where there are no assists. It's only been 4 occasions in this one where that's been the case.
Tominaga, couple dribbles in, Exum stays on him. 2 goes down.
Have a look at the zone defense again. Worth a look because they're having all sorts of problems with their man.
FIBA in the corner, won't go in. Cooks, how about another chance? No, and this time, I think it was a dual supported action, but Cooks another bucket.
Padding his O board stats.
2 points and 2 O boards. Togashi, mid-range. That one is in. Cooks continuing to flash. Inside out, that's how you break down a zone. And this basket there, so Japan, a chance to string a couple together. Baba driving, Euro, extra hand. Kawamata couldn't hang on. Exum other way, finger roll, no bueno. And he'll head to the free throw line.
Kawamata just, that last possession, shooting it before he had it, and then in transition, Dante Exum get to the win. Watanabe just with the reach in, slap foul. And you've got to keep in mind that this team, Japan, early stages of the third quarter, they trailed it by as many as 18 against Finland and found a way to get back into it and win the game. So they won't go away. These fans are driving them on. There's someone who's having a bet each way. He's got the Australian flag on one foot, the Japanese on the other.
Elevating and patting Rose's face, Yuki Togashi. A catalyst in keeping the crowd and this team in this contest. Speeding up to meet Exum. About a second and a half differential between the game clock and shot clock. Mills driving baseline. Cooks, the go-to guy. 14 for Cooks. Baba back to Watanabe. 5 to shoot. Watanabe, the lefty, will be way off his mark, and Cooks throws it up.
That was not far from it either.
So the first half is complete. Australia handedly out in front, 57-35.
Yeah, it was an impressive display by Australia with their tournament on the line. They've come out and, as we expected, they flexed They flexed their physicality, made it real hard for Japan to score, crank their defensive intensity up a few notches, and then on the offensive end, they got things going. Josh Giddey with 14, Xavier Cooks with 14, and Josh Green with 10 leading the way. And as I have a look at the assists, and that's just great ball movement, unselfish play, and turnovers a bit of an issue. And rebounding, just a complete domination by Australia on the boards, and they're those leading scorers that we talked about. And Josh Hawkinson, who has got the 11 points, but they have done a superb job of him as far as rebounding, because he had 19 rebounds the other night, 0 in this contest here so far. So they've made a concerted effort to keep him off the glass, and 14 points, as I mentioned, and the efficiency of Josh Giddey. He's 6 of 8 in total, because he's 1 of 2 from the three-point line and 1 of 2 from the free throw. So Josh Giddey, he's been impressive. He gets out in the open floor, as it does Xavier Cooks. He runs the floor as a big when they have this small lineup. Xavier Cooks is sometimes playing the 5, and he is incredibly difficult to guard because of his athleticism and both offensive and defensive transition of Xavier Cooks. Josh Green can get out and fill the lanes, and Patty Mills has been quiet. Hasn't had a lot of looks, 1 of 4 from the field. He's got 5 assists though, and he's prepared to sacrifice his game if it means Australia get the win.
And something that we didn't see from Australia today, a slow start. This is a changing of the tide here in their journey in Okinawa, with, of course, everything on the line. A win today, and they're in. They're moving forward to that second round, and so far, it's in a good posture.
Well, it is, and change the starting lineup it's only a small thing. Josh Green comes in to Matisse Thybulle, but it sends a message, shakes things up a little bit, puts a point of emphasis on what has to happen and what they need to improve on to start the game. Not to say that in any way was necessarily Matisse Thybulle's, he'd be the reason for the slow start, but change things up, and they just got to find a way to get better looks and shoot more efficiently. Tominaga, who had that 17 points, he's got him up, caught up in the emotion of it all. He's 2 of 10, and they're shooting it at 39% from the field.
So at halftime, scoreboard reads Australia 57, Japan 35.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are all on the same team.
We have the power to change lives through basketball.
Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Nunes has it. Takes the ball screen, turns the corner, goes inside, gets it back, throws it down. Hernan Gomez, aggressive, throws it down. Nunes with a great assist.
This is extraordinary, and it's a tough shot. Need something like that. What a pass!
A Doncic dinner party. Doncic to Toby.
And he's loving his own work.
Maybe nice a chance to lead the break. 2-on-1. Oh, what a block!
Yeah, Hollis Jefferson can create, so he's definitely going to put it up. The three, he's fouled! You cannot be serious! It takes an amazing athlete to make a play like that.
O'Hare driving baseline.
Wow.
Two-man slam this time.
Oh. Talk about some bounce. Kubion with his head up around the rim on that two-hand dunk.
Fernandez goes upstairs. Garuba. No.
Hanging on the rim.
Antetokounmpo has something that he can brag about in the Bucks locker room.
All the defensive work, and Slovenia gets the ball back. Fantazi, Doncic slips past him, and it counts. Luka Doncic unstoppable through the lane.
And Fantazi, he did the right thing. Make Luka beat you off the dribble rather than just standing back, so he closes out. Now this is going to be capable. Just Shengalia doesn't quite get there, moving to his right, doesn't get there in time.
Now quickly, they're not going to block this. Oh, he does. Unbelievable block from Jackson. Kind of glances off the rim to Aguari. Nice bounce pass. Holy cow.
What a finish. He just elevated above everyone. Left-hand throw down. That is a highlight for Hollis Jefferson.
Away in the flush. That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
And we're back in Okinawa, Japan. Despina Barton alongside Andrew Gaze. A peek back now at the top players here in the first half, and Josh Hawkinson going to work for Japan.
It is, and a lot of his works come from the service of others. When he's working those on-ball screens, he rolls really well. He has the ability to knock down the three. You've got to respect him from there. And this time, Duop Reef just a little late, but as it is most of the time, you're prepared to live with certain things, and I think closing out on him and letting him shoot over a hand for a three ball, they'll live with, but they won't live with this. Josh Hawkinson running the floor and beating Australia down in the offensive transition. He's 4 of 6, been really efficient from the field, and those ones around the rim that you see, those green dots, they've all come from rolling situations with some really good passes. And Australia, it's been Josh Giddey. He's come out and copped a bit of a spray early on against Germany, and he didn't wait to get things going in this one. He put the foot on the gas right from the start. The back cuts, the transition.
And his first three-pointer of the entire contest.
Of the contest and the tournament. It's 7 assists as well for Josh Giddey. He's got 3 boards. We might see, he needs a bit of work to get another 7 boards and 3 assists, but who knows? We might see a historic moment. Josh, I've got this. I've got 6 of 8, and mostly around the rim, which is not uncommon for Josh.
So Australia here up by 22 at the half. It's win and you're in. Qualifying for the second round, and you keep your FIBA World Cup playoffs and a road to the title alive. And Australia, they're coming off of a surprise loss to Germany. It was just a 1-possession loss, but it was still a gut check for this Australian squad.
It was, and it was a game. I've seen a lot of them over the last couple of years, and to me, it was one that they looked like they were still trying to work things out. And that is their defensive rules and what they're doing with on-ball situations, and they were also trying to work out their rotations. There was some interesting lineups and a lot of changes going on throughout the course of the game, and I noticed this one, even despite a pretty significant margin, they've only used the 9. So I think Brian Goorjian just trying to shorten the rotations and solving some of those problems that were identified in the game against Germany.
For Japan, they have a pretty big gap to start chipping away with. How does Tom Hovas and this crew start to do that, Andrew?
Well, it starts with the defense. 57 points. And you just got to think it pragmatically and think, well, can we score over 100? And Japan are going to look themselves in the eye and look in the mirror and say, no, we can't. We can't score over 100. So if you're not going to be able to score over 100, then you've got to find a way to slow this team down. 57 points is way too many. They've got to score 115 to win if it stays at this rate. So that's just not going to happen. So you've got to, it starts with what you do on the defensive end. You've got to think of a target. Okay, what have we got to hold them to? We need to hold them in the next couple of quarters, across this next 2 quarters in the 30s. Now that is a huge ask, but if you're going to win, that's the type of thing you're going to have to do. And then your offense can come out of your defense, but if you don't get stops, you're not going to get there. And then you see, well, the stats, 14.7 assists and 6 rebounds. Well, hang on a second.
Forget it, you're looking at those rebounds?
Yeah, that graphic. Well, on the official box scores, it's got Giddy
with 3
rebounds. So there we go. There we go.
Our crew's working hard.
Appreciate
back in that truck.
The team back in the truck, getting that one right. We would have liked to see the 6 rebounds. Then we would have really been a good chance for a triple-double, a rare triple-double in international basketball.
Xavier Cooks is helping out with a lot of offense too for the Boomers. He's got 14 points himself and 6 rebounds.
Yeah, that's the one. He's the one that you just love to play with, Xavier Cooks, because he gets things without having offensive sets to be run for him. He sees the game, he can play above the rim, and he has the ability to be in the right place at the right time, and he's got a nose for the ball. Dennis Rodman-like. That's how I'm going to get. That's how far I'm going to go. Dennis Rodman-like with his work around the basket. Now,
so Andrew Gaze can say that. Andrew
that might
Gaze.
be a little extreme, but he's got that type of DNA where, you know, those guys that just love to rebound and it's got a nose for the ball. Well, that's what he is like, and had an exceptional season, winning a championship in Australia with the Sydney Kings, and because of that great work with the Sydney Kings, he's made his way to the NBA. Finished off last season with the Washington Wizards and has signed a multi-year contract to stay with them, and you can see why with his activity here.
9 NBA players represented on this Australian national team, and there's been a shift. You know, some teams get knocked with their World Cup play, not bringing team, you know, the top team in the world. Here, Australia, it's different. The pride that these guys have to travel across the world, put back on their Australian Boomer jersey, it is something that has built over time, and it's such an honor.
Well, that's right, and that goes from a lot of years and generations of building a culture, and it's being lived now through this version of the Australian team.
Let's win this half. And get back on that one. Be in a help position early on his on balls. Defend those handoffs. Go ahead, Capes. First possession.
Ball, so we're just playing reverse splits. Great. We want something, we've got this step up hook. Get him early, do up and pop. As that's in the air, Greeny, Paddy will drift. Hook screen him. Do up, come with that handoff. Paddy's getting downhill. Judy, you're on the swing. Pull him behind.
Stationary on the pick. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go, boys. Here we go.
So Tom Hovas asking Japan to win this half. That's exactly what they did their first outing against Germany. They came back and owned those last 2 quarters, which were wins for Japan. Positives heading into what could be certainly a qualifying round, or excuse me, a classification round.
And what they've done is, in both the games, as you mentioned, both against Germany and Finland, they have won the second half. Now, they've dug themselves a huge hole to get out of, but it's about chipping away and having modest goals. And you heard Tom Hovas there just say, hey, let's just win this second half. Don't think about the final destination of trying to get the win. The score will take care of itself. Go through the process, think of winning the second half, because you can get very much deterred if you look up at the scoreboard right now and you see 57-35. Drop Reith called for a foul, early foul.
And you hear the crowd getting into this. Start of the third quarter. Justina Barton alongside Andrew Gaze, Kawamura, feed to Hawkinson, and one. That's a good way to open up.
And the penetration and dish. There's a foul on the arm. Obvious one. You heard Brian Goorjian saying, be ready to be in those help positions. But you got Reith, you can't lose vision, particularly against one of the prime movers for Japan. So you've got to be able to, old school in the under-12s, point to the man, point to the ball, and be able to see both all the time. And even if you're caught out, it can act as a deterrent when the driver sees that you're seeing both.
Giddy calling the offense here for the Boomers. Backdoor cut, Kay, there, no. Defended by Hawkinson, now Reith will slam it in. Hawkinson from 3.
See, I don't like that one. It's early in the offense. And if he's wide open, you can shoot it, and there's a blocking foul. But Hawkinson there, after hitting that first one, perhaps a little bit of a blood rush. And that shot's going to be available to him later in the offense. Explore the options, see if there's something cheap, get the penetrating dish, whatever it may be, before you take that shot.
Giddy off the screen from Reith, he'll back down Kawamura, and right over him he goes.
And they can't do that. They can't let Kawamura just be bullied by Josh Giddy.
And then Mills with the block from Tominaga. Feed up to Green, and there's the slam.
He's just uber elite athleticism by Josh Green.
We can see why they are the 3rd best team in the world, Australia. And Mills here, in and out. Kay, the tap, and tip in.
Well, turnovers are being punished.
Watanabe, takeaway. Mills, extra pass. Giddy gets it to Kay. Dribble. Who's next? Mills from 3, baseline. We're running with Baba, laying it on the left.
And that's Uday Baba's strength in the open court. He is as good as most. Good body control, and the pace at which he can go and still have that soft finish is a real strength. That's his calling card. Zone defense by Japan.
Green driving on Watanabe. Giddy gliding right through the gut. A miss. Hawkinson on the deck. They're going to call a whistle against Kay. And that's going to be Australia's 4th here in the 3rd quarter.
Josh Hawkinson, a couple of push-ups just to get the arms blood moving, I guess. Well, it's early on, and straight away, Brian Goorjian makes the subs and goes to his smaller lineup. Nick Kay and Diop Reith checking out of the game.
Baba in the corner. The feed there by Kawamura. And Baba with the last 5 for Japan. Cooks doing what he does best. 16 points for Cooks.
Able to absorb the contact and still have the presence of mind to be able to finish at the rim. Made something pretty tough look easy.
Kawamura tried Hawkinson, not there. Mills in transition. The give up. Cooks!
My goodness!
That's a grown man right there. Hawkinson on the other end as Australia was caught celebrating.
Well, Hawkinson, not sure he got over the center line on that Cooks dunk.
And Baba with the steal.
That's a double dribble.
Will hit Hawkinson, the trailer. A miscue between Giddy and Cooks. Hawkinson, a mismatch here with turns, shoot, get it over Giddy.
And Josh Hawkinson gives it too small. Comes back with his hand saying, hey, too small. Give it to me on the box. And this is a small lineup that Australia's going to.
Giddy stepped through for the three. Cooks gets the rebound. Second chance, Mills in the corner, and then he will finally hit.
It's his first made three-point field goal, 1 of 5 from the three-point line.
Kawamura creating space on Cooks, and he's got a pair of three-pointers.
Brian George will be upset. He brings in a small lineup to deal with that type of action, switching action, and to try and protect his bigs from that, and they're not able to get it done.
Giddy cross court, Josh Green in the corner. And that one stings as he matched Mills.
They've got it going on the offensive end right now, Japan, but they haven't been able to get the stops.
Watanabe, the lefty, gets it.
It's a shootout. It's 18-17. 19-18, excuse me. Japan actually leading the quarter in a high-scoring third quarter.
Giddy, and the extra touch there by Cooks.
Cooks gets it. I think it was going to fall in anyway. Rob Giddy of a couple of points, but sure, it's
just
not
some
going to bother.
insurance.
Not going to bother Josh Giddy. Well, it's true, you have to, because the defense can hit it off as well. So you're better off just tapping it in, putting some insurance on it. Dante Exum coming in for Josh Giddy. And substitutions for Japan as well. Higashi coming in.
And Tominaga.
And this is going to be an interesting couple of minutes because they also take out Josh Hawkinson.
Kawamata on in his place. Cooks, shiftiness, sticking with it.
Look at the hustle.
And pulled down by Watanabe. So Watanabe going at angles, driving with the left. That is his money shot. Exum, top of the key. Ingles gets it back. 7 to shoot. Exum lets it fly, and it rolls right in. Dante Exum now with 5 points.
6 of 20 from the three-point line. And Japan getting the response on the offensive end. Absolutely getting it done. Just can't get stops.
Baba lost it in traffic. Mills driving. Ingles spotted up. And this Australian team is stroking it from downtown.
Great recognition by Paddy Mills. Saw Joe Ingles wide open on the wing. He gets him going. It's Joey's been up and down with his shooting, 1 of 4, and they've all been 3-point field goal attempts. That's his first made field goal.
Man-to-man, regular man-to-man. If we have a chance to out, we'll out. Don't gamble in the backcourt. Don't gamble in the backcourt. We got to get back and load, okay? They're killing us in transition. We got to get back and load. And on offense, we got to freaking run, man. You guys are walking. We got to run. We got to run. All right, we got to pick up the pace. The pace is ours right now. So we got business now. Let's go.
Cooks just being a real disruptor here, and Japan unable to find an answer.
He has, and he's had a couple of hellacious dunks. Real authority. He's got 20 points, 10 boards, so he is making his claim for the TCL Player of the Game. And we might have to get our statisticians to work out too what's going on with records for offensive boards. Of his 10 rebounds, 8 of them have come of the offensive end, and they have obliterated Japan on the boards, 17-32. And of the 32, 14 of Australia's 32 boards have come on the offensive end, 8 coming from the hands of Xavier Cooks.
He's already got his double-double for the evening as Togashi raises up on the top of the key and shows us he still can shoot. Hawkinson staying in front of Exum here. Contested, it's short. Watanabe, the lefty, and they're pairing a pair of three-pointers together. Japan cuts the lead to 21.
That's his bread and butter. The three ball, wide open three ball, shot at over 40% for the Brooklyn Nets last season.
Mills from the free throw line, an answer. Clearing it out for Watanabe. And the putback, Hawkinson. The garbage man for Japan. Mills creates. It's a miss, and we're running now with Togashi. 90 seconds left in the third. Watanabe. Go time. It's blocked. Reef is there. That's his third block of the game.
There it is. Reef with that last line of defense. And this has been super impressive by Japan with what they've been able to do at this end of the floor. They've got 29 points in the quarter.
They heard you, Andrew Gay, saying, watch us. We can score 100.
Well, they did. Certainly what they're doing offensively, it's been good. And they're hitting shots. Sometimes it's just as simple as making shots.
Hawkinson and the foul. FIBA will send him to the free throw line.
Pretty sure Brian Gordon's not going to be happy with his defensive effort. Oh, and that time as Matisse Thybulle gets called for the foul. I think they thought he might have grabbed him on the elbow. Hawkinson goes to the line to shoot a couple of free throws.
He's got 23 points tonight. Just 2 rebounds.
Well, that's it, and he's been leading the tournament in rebounds. 19 the other night. That is spectacular. Incredible work. 19 against Finland.
Hawkinson, trusting true, makes them both. Thybulle gets jumped here on the defensive end. It's a takeaway for Japan. Coming through for the three-pointer, won't go down. Tominaga, how about another chance? Watanabe will take his spot from the charity stripe as Ingles brings in the Australian crew for a team huddle.
I love it. No fans, sometimes they can be a little fickle. This thing blew out 25, 26 points, but the intensity from the home fans is stuck with it and continues to inspire this Japanese team.
First one's good for Watanabe. 18 points for their superstar. And cutting the lead, they do. Ingles with the ball. Into Giddy, there's a mismatch, pass to Cooks, spinning, he'll hook it himself. Another board for the guy. And he gets so much out of every time he touches the ball.
Got a good instinct of where the defense is going to be. Missed the first one, and the defense was there, but just able to get him off balance and work his way around for the easy two for Cooks. 22 now for Cooks.
Higashi off the screen from Hawkinson. He pulls up the three. Hawkinson cleans it up. He gets it up in time, and it counts. Two more for Japan. Exum can't get it off. And the lead trimmed to 17.
Just an outstanding quarter of basketball at the offensive end for Japan. They've put 35 points in a quarter on Team Australia.
We're going to stay in 2 goal. Okay, we're going to stay in 2 goal. When Cooks gets an offensive rebound.
They doubled their score from the first 2 quarters. Australia looking to weather the storm. But man, is Japan firing back.
There's that hellacious dunk by Xavier Cooks. And it's just been efficiency on the offensive end. They're now up to 50% from the field for Japan. They were in the high 30s at halftime, such as the way in which they've shot it, created good scoring opportunities. But can they keep this momentum? They ended up winning the quarter by 5. So they still gave up 30. So they ticked every box. You couldn't have asked for any more on the offensive end. They need to be able to repeat that again and hold Australia into the teens, and they give themselves a chance. Now, if you had to ask me at halftime, is that a realistic prospect? I would have said you're dreaming. But after what we saw here in that third period, they can put the 35 on the board. Can they hold Australia in the teens?
10 more minutes and we'll find out. Australia, Japan, the finale in Group E. The winner will advance on to the qualifying round, the second round here in the World Cup, and stay in contention. The loser will move on to the classification groupings. So Giddy with the ball first. Thibault in the corner, a miss, but Cooks. And they're going to call a foul against Japan.
And we cut away at that quarter-time break from Tom Hobbs, and he was talking about Xavier Cooks, and he said when he gets an offensive rebound, and we cut away from it, the next part of it was going to be foul him. Foul him if he's shooting, because he's a poor free throw shooter. That's my guess on what he's saying, because they've had no answer for him, just letting him go up. And you don't want to foul Joe Ingles, though.
So Watanabe picks up his third personal. And 2 early ones for Japan here in the 4th. Joe Ingles stepped to the free throw line. 3 points tonight. Plays for the Orlando Magic, or will be playing for the Orlando Magic.
Both these teams missing some key elements. Australia, Jock Landale, the starting centre at the Tokyo Olympic campaign, literally a week out from the start of the tournament. Was he playing against South Sudan in a warm-up game and rolled his ankle, and it's a big one for Japan. Rui Hachimura, he's currently doing his work with the Los Angeles, or he was doing his work with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's taking some extended time off in the off-season, so not here for Japan. So 2 big outs for both these teams.
Tominaga from nearly our broadcast position. Tagashi with the rebound. Baba gets it back to him. The thread to Hawkinson, going to work. Giddy hands over the foul.
Tagashi, just an elite pass. That pass, the margin for error was so small, and he found a gap. That one there, he's got a defender on him, and you can see Hawkinson there with 2 guys right there. That had to be pin perfect, and he was good enough to do it. And Hawkinson goes to the line for 2 more free throws, where he's 5 of 5. Perfect. Bit of commentator's curse, perhaps. Wasn't unintended, Japan. I didn't mean it. They're 5 of 6 now.
I felt it as the words were coming out of your mouth. Back on track for Hawkinson. Japan picking up Australia here, man-to-man, full court. Mills guided to his left, Cooks kicks it, 1 more, Ingles drive.
Great rotation on the D.
Giddy now going in for himself, off its mark. Watanabe with the ball. He'll test it with Thibault, and the foul comes in.
It's 18 points. It's a huge mountain to climb, but the emotion, we saw this a couple of nights ago against Finland. They need Australia to go off the ball a little bit on the offensive end. And right now, they're in the groove themselves, Japan, down this end of the floor. And also will encourage fans of Japan is the rotations on the defensive end. They're scrambling, getting out and putting all sorts of pressure on the Australian shooters, and doing a pretty decent job when they put it to the deck and try to get to the rim. Just got to make free throws.
Okay. Back to Giddy. Hawkinson in front. Around the horn we go. 5 to shoot, takeaway. Yoshi with the steal. Watanabe kicks it to the opposite corner. Yoshi driving, hook shot, misses. Hawkinson drawing 3 yellow jerseys. Yoshi will give it another shot, other end. Giddy spinning, gives it up. Hey.
11 assists now for Josh Giddy. Kate, easy 2. 16, 11, and 4 rebounds for Josh Giddy.
Tominaga driving, the underhand. A finish there by Tominaga. $17-point differential. And that guy, he is going to be the TCL player of the game. I'm calling it.
Well,
Cooks.
It's going to be a tussle between him and Giddy, but I think you're right. Cooks, he's got 24 points, 13 rebounds.
Watanabe Couple steps in.
Australia cannot get stops. Cannot get stops.
And defense is known to be their anchor, right?
That's right. Their length, their athleticism.
Mills getting smothered on the other side. Thibault throws it up, and we have a backcourt violation. So a lack of stops combined here with the turnover and a pure momentum shift. A timeout called here on the floor as you see Tominaga.
Yeah. He had a tough time of it in the first half where it was 2 of 10, but he's stepping up in his second half along with a few of his teammates. What an update. He's got the 20, but that man, Joshua Hawkinson, 27 points, 4 rebounds.
Hey, we're playing great D. We got to get the rebounds. We got to box out. Zane, box out. Okay? 今インバウンド早いから相手がもうついていけないよ。ついていけない。All right, let's keep it up. Let's go. Let's go.
So Japan won the third quarter. They're tied up here in the fourth. We've seen Keisei Tominaga, the 22-year-old who was going to be playing the University of Nebraska, take things into his own hands.
Yeah, he's renowned for his rebounding. Like I said, he's leading the tournament with 14 a game. And Australia have done a pretty decent job of keeping him off the boards. He's only got the 4 rebounds, 3 of them offensive, only the 1 defensive rebound. But 2 of 13, it's 10 of 13 from the field, so super efficient from Joshua Hawkinson.
A handoff here gone sour. Turnover by Japan. And Yoshi calling for the 6th man. He needs everybody in this arena to give them a lift. Mills elevating over Watanabe. Driving, dishing, Watanabe, baseline 3. It rolls right in. Yuta Watanabe.
I love it. I love it. Just hanging in there, refusing to go away.
14-point differential. Australia led by 27 at the half. And Togashi saying it was on the floor. He was not shooting. But Giddy looks like he's going to get 2.
Had to come in to help out, and they've left an elite shooter wide open. And this has got a real stench about it, similar to what it was against Finland, doesn't it? Crowd starting, well, been engaged the entire time, but they are now really sensing something special in the making.
And that free throw will silence the crowd. And we're back. 20 points for Giddy. Tominaga in traffic. Giddy pushing the pace. Okay. Green. Mills gives it back to Green in the corner. Nobody going to contest it. And a gamble paid off for Japan. Tominaga, lefty in the face of Kay. A miss.
A little rushed. You know he can make those shots, but still plenty of time on the shot clock to get a better look, or at least explore your opportunities to get a better look.
Mills clearing the way.
Brilliant.
Shakes his defender and then...
It's the quick pull-up. It's the deep acceleration that's impressive. The way in which you can stop and still have that body control to look so smooth on the shot makes him special.
Togashi over K, and he gets it! Yuki Togashi, the 30-year-old point guard, the shortest player in the tournament, standing at 5'6". He's got 14. 15-point differential. Japan trying to make up that 15 in a hurry. Togashi will drive to Hawkinson, right hook. Now it's down to 13.
Hawkinson's touch around the basket. For a big fella, that's special.
Giddy head down, right to the rack. Tominaga, a little congestion over here.
They switch and Tominaga's got K on him.
Strong take, and this one's gonna be called an offensive against Watanabe. He cannot believe it.
No score either. They'll wave away the points. Let's have a look. Yeah, he got there. He's stationary, got there, feet planted, another step by Watanabe, and it just goes against Japan.
Giddy again going right to the rack, taking over here in the fourth.
When he gets downhill, he's hard to stop.
Kawamura with 2 yellow jerseys chucking away at him. Hawkinson continues to answer the bell for Japan.
31 now for Hawkinson on 12 of 15 shooting. Wow!
And that might have been the dagger.
Josh Giddy, and it wasn't your run-of-the-mill regulation 3. That was a good meter and a half behind. Look how deep he is. Still time on the shot clock. He might be it. Might have found the answer. He needs NBA range. Steps out and splashes it. 25 points, 10 of 16, 11 assists, and 5 rebounds for the 20-year-old. That combined with Xavier Cooks. 24 points, 13 rebounds. Good luck deciding who's the TCL player of the game on this one.
Be strong with the ball. Not drive. They only have 2 team fouls. Yeah, we still have 14 fouls. We gotta be back. All right, be aggressive. Okay? Finish this strong. Let's go. Let's win it. Get this on. Win the quarter. Win the quarter.
The youngster, 20-year-old, playing like a veteran out here today. Josh Giddy.
Well, these are the moments over the last decade. It's been Patty Mills and Joe Ingles stepping up, but now it's the new brigade. Josh Giddy, Xavier Cooks, and that is pure.
Giddy, known as the defensive anchor for Australia, here putting on an offensive show when Australia needed it most.
His dad was a long-term veteran playing in the NBL in Australia. Played over 400 NBL games and never made a three-point basket in his entire career.
He's a proud papa, I'm sure.
Coming in and making up for that.
Here, Hijima on the pull, and Cooks covers the rebound. And 2 minutes left in this one. Giddy driving. Will hold things up. Go at Hawkinson. A miss. Kawamura to Watanabe. And this will slow things down, but Watanabe will go to the free throw line as Australia picks up their 4th team foul.
Well, they're on track to achieve the objective which their coach, Tom Hobas, suggested at the halftime break, and that was to win the second half. And 35 points in the third, and they've just only trailed this quarter by 17 to 16. So this has been an impressive fight back by Japan. And they might eventually lose, but their fans can be very proud of the effort.
And a foul here. Watanabe, the first one to help Patty Mills up.
They were teammates with the Brooklyn Nets.
And that's Watanabe's 5th personal. So he will exit the contest.
And he's carried the load. A decent load, 24 points, 7 rebounds to Watanabe.
This team made history here in the tournament, knocking off their first ever European opponent. They came from an 18-point deficit 2 nights ago. And the officials here are going to take one extra look.
Now they're seeing if it's an upgrade.
Yeah, after the review, they call his upgrade for a small night foul, okay? Go. Okay, so the shooter is 5, male. Yeah, and then the unsportsmanlike foul is on red 12. Yeah.
So it's going to be upgraded, Andrew. What do you think here?
Yeah, well, the issue is it's because it's head-high contact. You know, it's, I think in the spirit of the game, it shouldn't be, but in the rules of the game, then it is. So that's just the way it is in a world now where all sports are trying to protect the head. It's something that they got to put in place rules to make sure that it's a severe deterrent to even have an accident. Now, that was an accident. He was not in any way, shape or form trying to cause any harm to Patty Mills. But the nature of the way that the interpretation of that rule is, it's had to be an upgrade.
Mills hits both, and Australia will also get the possession here. Giddy to Mills. Ingles will hold on, and the Boomers are going to take their time. Giddy in front of Hawkinson. A miss. Cooks continuing to tap things around and keep it with the Boomers. Giddy driving left. Hawkinson delivers his shoulder.
Substitution Australia, number 1, Tyson Daniels. And
So Mills takes his spot on the bench, as does Exum. The final substitutions for Brian Goorjian's squad, who will be advancing on to the second round of the World Cup. A shaky start after a loss to Germany 2 nights ago. This was the win they needed, Andrew.
Well, it is, and they've got to the destination that they wanted to, but they're going in as with all the credit points they wanted. And it's highly likely they're going to be facing Slovenia and Georgia in the next round, and Australia are going to need to win both, I think, to guarantee their pathway to the quarterfinals.
So that's what will happen after tonight. The teams will rest. The groupings will reconfigure. Top 2 teams will move on to the second round of the World Cup. The bottom 2 teams will move on to a classification grouping. Every game, every score counts. Not only is the World Cup on the line, but bids and trips to the 2024 Paris Olympics. And for Australia, they've kind of seen their journey here.
This is a tricky out. This has been a tricky out. They got a bit of relief at halftime, but Japan have made them play it out. Jack White.
A putback there after the miss from Golding. But I've been impressed at how much Brian Goorjian lets these guys play through. Very difficult situation.
It's an experienced group, and he puts faith in his guys.
And Cooks has got to be one of my favorites here tonight.
Yep.
And that's how this one ends. Australia stamping their ticket to the second round of the FIBA Men's World Cup. It's a round of applause as these 2 teams shake it up. It's Josh Giddey, the man of the hour, that scores and takes over when the Boomers were being tested. The final score here, 109-89.
Congratulations to both teams, for Australia moving on and for Japan for making it a real battle. They had a historic win the other night, which we've mentioned a number of times, against Finland, but this also puts Japan in a situation where they go into the classification round where they have a chance to get that automatic bid for Paris. There's a spot there. The highest ranked team out of this World Championship from Asia will get that bid, and that's what their focus has got to turn to right now as they go through the classification period. And for Australia, highly likely it's Slovenia and Georgia that they're going to be facing in the next round. So a couple of really tough, physical, big lineups that they've got to face. And it's going to be a battle to get to those quarterfinals, but they'll be encouraged by what they saw tonight. Got Josh Giddey going with those 26 points, 11 assists and 5 boards. And Xavier Cooks, you talk about him being your favourite player in this game. He'll be your favourite player by the end of the tournament. I can almost guarantee it, because of the work ethic, the way in which he gets after it on the glass, the passion that he plays with. And he had 16 boards to go along with 24 points. So really outstanding work, and let's pay respect to Japan. Josh Hawkinson, 33.7 boards, elite. Watanabe, he got it going eventually after a slow start, ended up with 24 and 7 boards. And Togoshi, he lost his starting spot, but he bounced back, 5 of 7 from the floor, 7 assists, 14 points.
And here's a look of the takeover that Josh Giddey did. If he wasn't distributing the ball, he was putting it through the hoop. Impressive play down the stretch, and the young guy, Keisei Tominaga, 22-year-old that would be playing at Nebraska, had an answer in the second half for Japan. And you know this, Tom Hovas asked his team to come out and win the second half. And by golly, they did.
They did. And it was just that first half that cost them, gave Australia just too much leeway in that first half, and the mountain was just a little too high to climb, but they provided great spectacle. Patty Mills, the shake and bake, the killer crossover, whatever you want to call it, that is tough to do. And I wouldn't call it the changing of the guard, but certainly usually we equate Patty Mills with taking over games, which we saw in the first half against Germany, but throughout the game it was this man, Josh Giddey, getting downhill. And if he wasn't scoring the ball, he was finding teammates in easy scoring positions, and he's one to watch.
Tell me this, Andrew. You've seen them play through the group phase here. What's your biggest takeaway of Australia here as they continue on?
Well, I think that the takeaway is how they play small ball. Duop Reed can provide that presence inside, but it seems like Brian Goorjian is leaning more towards going with small ball, particularly in crunch time. Duop Reed didn't play a minute in the fourth quarter against Germany, and again here tonight we see a lot of it, and that provided opportunities for Xavier Cooks. He played 23 minutes and was able to put up spectacular numbers, and I think that they're still figuring things out on the fly. They've still got a lot of work to do on the defensive end and what systems they're going to put in place, but I think that they are going to get better as the tournament rolls on, and there's the table after the end of group play.
Yeah, so this is the final standings. Australia adding another win to that W column, 2-1. They'll carry on that record as they go on here in the second round of the World Cup tournament to face likely Slovenia and Georgia. Points and records follow them all the way throughout. And tonight, it was a big one. It was win or go home, and Australia took care of business. Josh Giddey and company take home the victory. For Andrew Gaze, I'm Despina Barton. Congratulations to the Boomers. You're moving on. Final score, 109-89.
Now we'd like to say our final goodbye. So, to all the volunteers, to everyone that came out, to my friend Luigi and the entire crowd and all the teams, we'll be back here
Nerily, what a relief it is for Australia to finally get over the home nation in Japan. It was a great game, and Australia were tested. Looked like at the halftime break it was going to be a regulation win, but the fans and the fighting spirit of Japan really pushed through. And for Australia, it was some of the new guys. Josh Giddey playing in his first major international tournament at the senior level. He came out and was spectacular. 26 points, 11 assists, and what about Xavier Cooks? 16 boards to go along with his 20-plus points. It was something special. The activity of Cooks on the boards, the smarts of Josh Giddey, and knocks out his first 2 3-pointers in the tournament in this game here. But it's not one that Australia walk away with and feel necessarily they've solved all the problems. They've still got a lot of improving to do on the defensive end. They've given up 89 points to Japan, and that, as they move on, as the competition gets a little tougher, is going to be an issue. They need to still sort out, I think, what they're doing with their on-ball defense. We saw a lot of switching, and it seems like that Brian Goorjian feeling a little bit more comfortable now playing that small ball, and why wouldn't you with what we saw from Xavier Cooks here tonight. So real positive win. They get to move on to the next group stage. It's highly likely it's going to be Slovenia. Well, it will be Slovenia and probably Georgia. 2 outstanding, well-experienced European teams. It's going to be a battle, but I like the trajectory and I like the way the Boomers are coming together. I'm happy not to do it, don't get me wrong.
I was told you're alone and your guy, I see him in the league run, so he's not here. He's not here?
Yeah. So they said, hi boys, would love gazing post-game as long as you can your own. That's what I did. Then Olgan and Gazy do a 3-question post. Yeah.
Jesus, 3 questions. All right.
Mate, I can bang on if you want. Just one. You can get 1 or 2. I can bullshit.
We got 2 in there.
Half right?
Well, I can answer as long as you want.
Okay.
I mean, I'm cool with just like a chat almost.
Yeah, of course.
Let's just keep it supernatural.
Yeah.
I feel like that's easy. What was the score?
The score was 89 to 109.
Yep. Australian Boomers defeat Japan 109-89. They progress to the next round, the next group. Next up is Slovenia. But Drewy, this game, that starting lineup change, do you feel like it actually made that difference?
Well, we don't want to say that it necessarily was the key factor because, you know, it's not Matisse Thybul's individual fault that the team was getting off to a slow start. But I think with Josh Green, it certainly gave him a lot of confidence. That was his best game by far, I think, in a green and gold jersey. And the intensity that he's able to apply on the defensive end, and also the shot making, getting to the rim, a hellacious dunk in transition. It's a thing of beauty. So getting him going was important. So maybe injecting him into the starting lineup helped him individually, and let's hope we can get Matisse Thybulle on track as well, because he's an elite defender and he's going to be important as the competition talent level continues to grow as we advance through the tournament.
Now, we've seen a lot of Xavier Cooks in the NBL. This is maybe the first time some of these fans, some of the international fans have seen him. That was an unbelievable performance on both ends, but especially on the offensive glass. Is it almost as though the ceiling of this Boomers team is around Xavier Cooks?
Well, I think Xavier Cooks has had an impact. We saw in the last quarter, in fact, most of the game against Germany, he's a handful. He's so active on the glass. He's got a nose for the ball. He's, dare I say it, Dennis Rodman-like in his attack on the glass, and that is high praise without the hair and the piercing, but he gets it done. He's got a happy knack of being in the right place at the right time, and he was able to convert, and he puts 16 boards in any game of basketball is super impressive. But here, with the significance of this game, made it very special. And it appears as though Brian Goorjian, he's starting to feel a whole lot more comfortable playing that smaller lineup out on the floor. And it allows him to switch a little bit more than when you've got Duop Reith in there. Duop Reith has done nothing wrong. I think that he's playing well. The rim protection early on in the game and right throughout. But, you know, as we see the way in the minutes are being allocated, he's starting to find a liking for that smaller lineup.
Now, he's like that smaller lineup throughout the entire campaign, but going up against someone like Luka Doncic, we saw them switching against Dennis Schroeder. They may go to the same thing, and Xavier Cooks is so important there too. What's the key to stopping someone like Luka Doncic in this next game against Slovenia?
It's going to be vital. Australia now, Slovenia, and then, of course, probably having to play Georgia as well. And because we dropped that game to Germany, we're going to have to win both to get through. And it's achievable, and like you mentioned, Slovenia, they're very, very deep. But the engine room is Luka Doncic. He has been a freak in this tournament. When he pulls on that Slovenia jersey, boy, does he go to a level which is impressive. And if you're just going to play him man-to-man, you're doomed. You've got to do it collectively. How they deal with him in the on-ball, how they deal with him in the low block. And that's where someone like Xavier Cooks, with his athleticism, is going to play a big part. And, you know, I'm an advocate of blitzing him, double teaming him, getting the ball out of his hands and making someone else beat you. They did a really good job in Tokyo when they got that win and they won the bronze medal. But that was at the end of the campaign. Luka a little tired. They're going to get a fresher look at Luka this time around. It's a handful, but I think they've got the athleticism to deal with it.
Well, this was a fun game to watch. The crowd was amazing. Still a long way to go for the Boomers. Thanks for tuning in, guys.